Hey you guys, it's MJ from Love. How are you? I have a few minutes to spare for my daily yoga on the rooftop in Sagres, Portugal. And this week has been like monumental shifts and turning points. And I wanted to share with you guys like some of the symbolisms of the times and as far as paradigm shift community, like New Earth, more compassionate and loving humanity. I've been in this sort of guided, intuitive path since I was 19, and I'm 37 now, and I can honestly say life really is miraculous, beautiful, magical, divine. And so I've been chatting to a few different friends about all this synchronicity and like having soul group family turn up over these last few months, and at the same time bottoming out on like the circumstantial level as far as like the old reality is dying away. So a lot of like profound transformational energy happening, and at the same time like the beautiful miracle of life like showing up as well to kind of encourage us to keep going on this sort of self-responsible creatorship divine path. And it really does come from a place of love and compassion. So like this year has sort of been like the deepest and most intense, and at the same time like really committing to seeing it through. Hey Minuteman, how are you, my friend? And like through a series of events, I applied for this gig in Portugal, mainly so that I could hang out with my mom for a month. As it turns out, my mom hasn't been able to come here. I'm still here and I'm gigging, and I'm just really thankful that a lot of yoga teachers on Yoga Trade, we apply for different gigs, and there's just so many applications that we don't often get them. And this one I did. It was, gracefully given to me. And it's like a total turnaround. It's like, and now like the whole life is now unfolding in the way that I've been kind of projecting and intending to create for years and years, really. Yeah. So I end up in this place, Sagres, and I'm a little bit dense actually when it comes to geography, and I'll just like hop on a plane and go somewhere and maybe look at a map at some point. But I really did like no research or anything. I was just like, oh, where am I going? And I look down, it's this place. I'm like, oh, wow, it's right on the tip. And then I get here, and apparently Sagres is called the end of the world. And I'm like, oh, the end of the world, like the end of old paradigm in my awareness. And well, because a couple of days ago I was like noodling with all these synchronicities, and it was really windy, and to the point that I was almost getting like annoyed with the wind. I was just like, oh, like stop being so windy and loud, and it's just like blowing everything. And then I reached out to a friend, and she was like, I know, me too, I'm having the same experience. And I was like, winds of change. It's like the final, right, the final like cycles are now completing. So, and this is huge, guys. Like this isn't for some of us, yeah, this is a lifetime thing. For some of us, this is like the karma of the ages, like the 26,000, 13,000, and like very many little ones in between of karmic patterns, of transforming darkness and density on this planet. And my intuition sees this planetary realm as like a generation station where souls learn and grow and expand and have this very unique and divine experience of the polarity of light and dark, which obviously is like a really cool experience as a infinite eternal being, to experience the finite creation aspect, and then to come into creatorship, to come into a broader aspect of self through unity, through the heart, and then to birth that as a field on this planet. And it's a miraculous because like on the polarity scale, it's the end of the world. That's what the Sagres is called to its people. Like Bali is called the island of the gods kind of thing. And that's where I was I've been called to Bali 3 different times. Each time I've been doing work. I wrote my book in Bali. And again, it was all like divine, because it wasn't it wasn't like I'm like, yes, I'm going to go to Bali and write a book. The way it happened wasn't like controlled in my mental scape. It just all laid itself out. And then a year later, I worked with Katie and we developed the Be the Change courses, and she started pioneering her zero waste lifestyle, which then led to her creating the zero waste course for All to Love and us producing it together. And then that spurred me on to create the Vegan Love, the Spirituality Simplified, and the Unplugged for Freedom, which I'll release this year. And so here I am at the end of the world, and yet my experience of like the people, it's all new paradigm energy. So the kind of energy of the people here are very open-hearted, very conscious, aware. There's this place where I'm teaching the rooftop yoga. It's like a very, what I would call the new paradigm business model. So it's like a cafe that has like vegan and otherwise, it's not purely vegan, but it has lots of vegan options alongside like organic, natural, local produce. There's a chef named Mercedes who I just love her. We have little like chats. I was buzzing from coffee yesterday, and she was like, okay, and now you go and you ground with the yoga. It's like, yeah. And she talked about like soul food and how she puts her heart into the food, and she does Reiki over the food and stuff. And then I was talking to the owner, and he's like, I don't know like how we've done it. You know, we only opened a year ago. And I was like, well, because you guys have heart and good intentions, and you're good people, and you care. And that is really the new paradigm business model. So like, no longer is it just like bottom line bullshit, or like, I don't know, some weird like lying to people, or like just cruelty, whatever, right? Whatever backbone drives a business, if it's not coming from a heartfelt place, in my opinion, it will die out with the old world, right? And now I'm here basically like living new paradigm. And the laundry lounge, it's called the laundry lounge because it's a place for tourists to come and do their laundry, or locals, I guess, for that matter. There's like a cool little terrace in the back. There's a yoga terrace on the rooftop, and then the cafe, which is all like really good local produce and some vegan options. And then they have live music, and it's just really funky. And there's like art, and and I'm super excited about this. They have a monthly vintage market. So I'm gonna definitely hit up the vintage market August 6th. So you can see like the new paradigm energies are very collaborative in nature, and there's a recognition of like exchange and support for one another, and of course just good intentions, you know, like and I always mean this in a very heartfelt way, like the hobbits is kind of thing, but like simple life in truth is like a simple experience if we allow it to be, where, you know, we have our feet on the ground, we look after our bodies, we look after our mind, our hearts, you know, our energy. We're self-responsible creators, and yet we exchange that energy with one another, and we support one another through some challenges if need be, and ultimately in expressing our highest good to one another. So yeah, the paradox of life, here I am at the end of the world, experiencing the new paradigm, experiencing new earth, as far as like the energies that are permeating this planet, and ultimately creating a global paradigm shift, so that eventually earth becomes like more like heaven, not without its challenges, because I believe that our sense of challenge as a soul is part of our choosing. You know, like basically what's the point if it's all just light fluff all the time, right? So yeah, hi Minuteman, I know you're having chats here. I'm just gonna look back. Yeah. Not such a fluff. No, it's a beautiful place to be. And the last 6-7 months like of darkness and despair and grief and depression and financial disparity and all of that is now turning around and paying off. And it's not it's not for lack of like hardcore inner grit, because there were just a few, more than probably that, but like a freak outs of like, I'm gonna have to get a job, or I'm gonna have to like, go back to the old paradigm. But like deep down, I was like, no, I must carry on. And I joke now, I've sold 2 books. I'm giving away my CDs to people. Just meeting amazing international people, like literally people every day. There's different people who turn up for yoga. I've met people from the Netherlands, Finland, Switzerland, Germany, France, Portugal, Italy, America. There's a Canadian girl that showed up the other day. So yeah, and to me as well, that's part of new paradigm. It's like places now are becoming like merged melting pots of existence, rather than this separate, bordered reality. Now there's like this acceptance that we're more unified as a humanity, and we're wanting to experience more of this planet. And so the newer, the next generations coming in, the way I feel into it is that they're already more clear. Younger people, my awareness, have less karmic backlog. They carry less density in the cells of their beingness. And so as they continue to expand their self, then they're permeating the field, which is helping others and generations older like shift as well. And at the same time, we're beginning to sort of understand the aspect of sacred death. And so there's a greater co-creative learning about when around death as well, which is then triggering and stimulating deeper healing in our collective as well. Okay, I think that's it. I just had a few minutes to spare and wanted to share New Earth with you guys. And yeah, invite you to Morocco if you want to come do some yoga with Katie and I in Morocco, October 8th to 12th. It would be wonderful to meet you there. And it feels very likely that I'll be going to America for a few months at the end of this year, possibly into early next year, and then hosting another retreat in Morocco in Feb. But I'm talking about that yet. So yeah, if any of you guys are over there in the United States, I'll be doing just like a little tour from Maine, and then possibly down to Florida and over to Dallas, where I'm going to be based for a little bit, working at a studio. And then the West Coast, Portland and Seattle, basically meeting up with my YouTube besties. And yeah, just doing a bit of a All to Love tour. And then I'll be back in the UK for the festival season next year. So it's all happening. It's happening, you guys. It's happening. Don't worry. Everything's coming to pass. It's just started to rain. It's been kind of stormy these last few days, and it's actually raining. So here I am leaving the UK to find the same weather in Portugal. Jolly good show. And some of you guys asked, this is an All to Love hoodie. It's one of the girly ones. If you like All to Love as a brand, you can support us by going to alltolove.teamlove.com, and you can buy yourself some All to Love products. It's all sustainable and collaborative, and yeah, it supports myself and Team Love and all of our new paradigm endeavors, and this all the free content and stuff that I create. So guys, thank you so much for being here. As always, I really appreciate you. I appreciate you showing up for love. Like love, heart, vibrashe, and committing to your own expansion and your journey. I'll enjoy the rain. Thank you so much. I love you guys, and I'll speak to you soon. I'm just getting a little ooh, baby, don't you know that's earth? Ooh, heaven is a place on earth. I'm gonna learn that song and try to sing it better for you guys. I love you. Have a great day. Peace out.